time for Bomber Banter. Now over to Fiona.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Bomber Banter. Welcome to Team Selection Night. Round 22, we face the Cats again, except this time we go down to the Cattery, and I am scared. I am scared for what we are going to be facing, but we have tonight to pray and then the fan cams tomorrow night for the therapy. Thank you so much to everyone for being here. Moby, thank you for starting me off in the best way possible. Thank you so much. And Bomber Boy, thank you. Jai Menzi, yes, we will get to this. But before we do, I have a special guest joining us tonight. He has had more September joy than I have had hot dinners, I think. He is a passionate Cats man. He is one of 5 from the Hoops Crew channel. Please welcome Ben.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for having me.
How are you doing, Ben?
It's been a while since we've raised that cup. So it's been 3 years?
Oh now? Yeah. I mean, it's just been, you've had 3 premierships in the last 15 years, and I've seen 3 good quarters in the last since 2004. What's it like? Do you just wake up feeling joyful that you barrack for a really good football club, or?
No, it's surprisingly not, because I'm old enough to have lived through the 90s when we lost all those grand finals. So no matter how many we win, I'm still pessimistic. We'll be 50 points up in a game and lose it. That we'll be finished first on the ladder by 3 games one year and still bomb out in straight sets. I'm one of those Geelong supporters. But
that's so interesting.
Try and be positive tonight.
Well, but that is just so interesting, Ben, because, I mean, from my point of view, and I guess the next generation they only know a time when Geelong has just regenerated while on the run and never bottomed out ever, and just fully been successful for so long and never dropping out of the 8. It's just a consistent place up top. And I think to myself all the time, do you find that your fans now just expect the win? So you expect to win, where we as Essendon fans in this era, we live on the hope. Whereas you guys, do you find that it's an expectation of the win now?
Yeah, and please don't take this as arrogance at all. If anything, it's disappointing that we feel that way, because you go to a game at GMHBA or Cardinia Park, as I still like to call it, and if yourself or anyone in the chat is going along on Friday night, you'll probably notice that it feels eerily quiet. That the Geelong fans don't get up and about unless they're angry about the 4 men in green or yellow or whatever the colour they're wearing. There's been some horrible some injustice caused upon the Geelong Football Club. All the Cats are playing terribly, and we find ourselves 5 goals down. Or we're absolutely having a party. It's Jez is kicking his 10th goal. But if it's just an average 30-point win for the Cats, you'll barely hear a whimper from the crowd. And I hate that. I hate that about us Geelong supporters, that it's got to that point. It's a weird thing, but I actually long for the days where, I don't want to bottom out forever, but maybe we go through struggle street for a few years at least, and then forget what it's like to be good. Because that ride up that we went through from early 2002 or whenever it was, when we had that really good draft with the Ablets and the Bartels and so forth.
Yes. Yep.
That was a fun journey. And everyone else who's kind of come along since then hasn't really seen that rise, hasn't experienced that, going up the roller coaster and then, coming down at the end is the fun part. But just, the build up is really enjoyable. So it's just, I went to the game 2 weekends ago, or when the last one in Geelong anyway, and it was just really quiet until things got a little interesting.
I mean, chat, can you believe hearing that there are clubs, and it would be, I put Sydney in the same category as Geelong for me in my time, loving football. And like to hear that what you're saying, Ben, is 100% true. Your players build that resilience, and it makes the highs even greater because you've come from that bottom. Whereas all your players at the moment, your youngins, they just know success, and that's all they know. Really, they haven't bottomed out. They haven't known, not that they haven't known to fight, because they've fought for their place in the team, and you fight on game day to win. But to have that, that absolutely gut wrenching, 5, 6, 7 losses in a row. Like, when's the last time you lost 5 in a row? Is it at that point now that you haven't even lost multiple games in a row?
There was a year or two ago, I reckon the year we lost the finals. We started the year 0-3, and that was devastating.
Okay, that was devastating.
That was devastating for Geelong supporters. And then I reckon we lost 4 in a row at one point. Might have lost the fourth might have been a loss at home to the Giants. And that hadn't been done in 15, 20 years or something like that. But yeah, that's as bad as you got as it gets. And you just have to look at the ladder and the form guide of the last 10 or 12 weeks of some teams, and it's like, oh my God, nothing's as bad as that. I mean, we're worrying about, we've lost 3 games. No team that loses 3 games goes and wins the premiership. That's the kind of stupid stuff that Geelong supporters. I mean, I'm an idiot. Like, I don't know why you got me on the show. You probably should have got
Ben, I mean, look,
positive Geelong supporter.
I mean, all I would say is like, be easy on us. Don't mind our deprecatory manner, because we're all, we are long suffering Essendon supporters. And I guess if you've been around to see when Geelong was still bad, then you were obviously around when Essendon were actually good. And I'm told that they were good once upon a time. So
they had the best team ever, as far as in my living memory. The 2000 team was, I think, still better than the 2007 Geelong team, and probably the 2022 Geelong team. I don't think any team will come close to that Essendon team of 2000. They were incredible.
Yeah,
to watch them go through a season and just get beaten by the Doggies in I think the regular season towards the end by a kick late in that game. It could have been undefeated. It was just such a powerful side that year.
It's really I'm told, but I've also watched replays to think that they didn't back it up the next year is very much a blight on the long-standing supporters' memories. But so I guess thinking about this chat that I was going to have with you, it's just weird to think that both our clubs were in such. We have the same. Our coaches have the same genetics or the same, some of the same DNA, but our clubs couldn't be in more polar opposite places. I note that this week, your injury report, you had 4 guys who, keep in mind, 4 guys on the injury list for Geelong, and all 4 are set to be available next week. We have 16 actually on our injury list this week, and over half are not going to be available in 4 weeks. So I don't know. Don't ask me why we don't just put season next to their name, but we are also, at the start of the year, we're also in a rebuilding phase. So I guess from your point of view, it is a bit hard to get your take on, from an outsider's point of view, on Essendon, because we do have those injuries and it's been such a whirlwind season. But where do you see it when you think of Essendon at the moment?
At the moment, yeah, look, it's really tough, and I think I feel bad for the Bombers. I don't have a hate of the Bombers like I do with Hawthorn. Don't get me started on Hawthorn, but
okay.
I actually don't mind the Bombers.
Okay.
You gave us some tough times in the 90s and the early noughties, but I don't mind the Bombers. But watching from, being an Oppo fan, just watching the Bombers just struggle year on year, and this year with all the injuries, it's just unfair. It's absolutely unfair. It's no club should have to go through that, and we saw West Coast go through the injuries and all that a few years ago as well, and they haven't been able to figure it out. I still feel like I'm still optimistic about the Bombers. I cop crap from others on the Hoops crew because I constantly tip the Bombers to make top 4. I know, I believe in them so much year on year.
Wow.
I'm 6 rounds in. The Bombers have won 6 out of the last 7. No one wants to hear me. Then I shut up when the injuries hit, of course. But they were going okay. Yeah, they a bit like Geelong at the moment. They had some easy kills, but But then injuries hit, and then you couldn't even bet the easy kills after that, which is nothing wrong. The club's doing nothing wrong. It's just maybe didn't you get rid of the fitness guy or something like that?
Yeah,
I don't know if that's the problem, but you got to look somewhere.
A domino had to fall in that regard. It was just because it became the question of, is this coincidence or is this actually a deceivable pattern that's happening here? And I don't believe in coincidences. So
yeah,
it could be, yeah. But we're trying everything. Apparently, we're resurfacing both our surfaces at the hangar, and it's all up in the air. Basically, it is hard to get a full, even for us as fans. It's hard to see where our list is at because half the list haven't been playing together for the past for the most of the year, or the ones that we would want out there. For come next year, at the start of next year. So it is really difficult to get a read. But I guess from the Geelong point of view, where do you see the Cats this year and in the next couple of years? Do you have, in comparison to your premiership years that you've won, how's this year looking for you? How do you feel about this year?
If you look at the wins and the losses of the last, say, 10 or 11 weeks, it's going great. And as we all know, as the whole competition knows and everyone in Media Street knows, it's who you play sometimes and when you get them and all that sort of stuff. So, and that's not necessarily changing over the next couple of weeks as well. As we know, the Bombers just can't say, they've got half your team's on the injury list at the moment, so it's not really.
But this is a makeshift VFL side, no offense, but this is what it is. Yeah.
Not a shot at the club at all. That's just the reality of where the club sees himself at the moment. But look, I think Geelong, it'll depend on potentially a couple of results going our way. Obviously, having to win all three between now and the end of the year, but also hoping that maybe Brisbane or Collingwood drop one they shouldn't drop. I mean, I know there's a game on tonight involving Collingwood. I'm torn. I'm really torn. I want Collingwood to win because I hate Hawthorn, but I know it's probably not in our best interests.
I know. Sometimes you got to just go with what your heart is.
Part of me also wants Collingwood to finish top because I reckon we'll either play them in a qualifying final or a prelim. So I think we'll probably, to answer your question a bit quicker, I think we'll get through a semi-final. I feel like we'll have to go through a semi-final to get to a prelim, but I think it'll probably, unfortunately for Geelong supporters, poor us, another prelim loss. But we've had a few of them, but I think it'll be another prelim loss in 2020.
Really?
Yeah, I think it will. I think Adelaide's looking great, and I think the whole AFL world's sleeping on Freo a fair bit, and I think they're just right under the radar where they want to be. And they've won 10 out of 11. They're absolutely flying. Fremantle.
The thing that I think Geelong has going for them that probably only other team does is Collingwood, but that premiership kind of finals experience and culture, whereas Gold Coast, they're going to flop in their first final series, in my opinion. Adelaide, this group, particularly together, don't have – I know they've got a few premiership players who played in that premiership in their team, but as a whole, most of their list have not played finals football or a premiership at that. Collingwood's the only other team. I could see it being Collingwood-Geelong grand final. And Brisbane is the other one that has the experience, obviously. Yeah. But the others, if Freo make it, again, they don't have the experience. So Geelong, I just see they're just so dependable come finals time. I don't see you dropping many, Ben.
Yeah, well, thank you. Appreciate that. I take it as a win. Geelong makes a prelim this year. I'm not actually seeing that as a failure at all. I think it's, we've brought a couple of new kids along. Connor O'Sullivan's he's played a game last year, but he's really sort of come on the scene this year. And what at some stage was being talked about as a rising star. So we've got a couple of games into some kids. We've squeezed another year out of some of the old boys. Danger will probably go around again, you'd think.
You think he will? Mm-hmm.
I think so. I think your Mitch Duncans and your Cam Guthries will probably call it a day. Reece Stanley will play till he's 90 because we need him to.
Who have you got coming up in your ruck stocks, actually?
There's a fella we call the Big Chili because he's got red hair and he's a Geelong boy. Okay. He's Toby Conway, but he has been injured so much. It's probably his injuries are almost laughable, a bit like what Essendon's going through for the whole club. he got injured laying in bed. That's how.
Oh
he's that
my God!
right.
Okay,
I'm not joking. He got injured, coughed in bed, and put his back out. And
you're kidding.
For it. And Jed Beers missed half the year because he was washing knives in the sink and didn't look what he was doing.
Okay, that's officially the weird. He needs to just be in bubble wrap. They need to just.
Yep. So anyway, Jed, I'm gonna use a dishwasher, Jed. But no,
Yeah,
Toby
exactly.
Conway's the upcoming ruck, and there's a couple of others that are sort of not really. I mean, there's prospects, I guess. And
Sorry.
All rucks are really.
Moby saying here, we'll be chasing him for sure because he'll fit right in down at the hangar because, on our injury in our rehab group, we've got a very strong rehab group. So he'll fit right in.
Or maybe he's a former Falcon and, so we're on a mission. This is what I love at Geelong. We try to get all the former Geelong Falcon players back. Connections to the town or the beach.
All right, we have a little question from Craig here. Could Duncan go around again at another club, in your opinion? Would you consider him for a leadership role at Essendon? What do you think on that?
I think if you ask Duncan, he would actually love it. He would love to go for another year. He loves playing footy. He loves being around the footy club. His kids love watching him play footy. They love the fact that dad plays AFL footy. So I'm sure he would love to go a little bit longer, but he'll probably listen to his body. I think it was a shoulder injury this time, so it's they're a little bit easy to get over. So I would like him to go on another year, but I think it's probably like some of those older Geelong boys that we had to move on, like Stevie J and Paul Chapman and all that. A couple of guys went to your side actually, Stokesy.
Top up year top up year, we'll take him.
Yeah, exactly. But I just feel like he's not going to be guaranteed games next year, and he's probably still got a bit to offer. Maybe another year at another club.
I think just in terms of leadership and having come from Geelong, and he's played. My God, even him. Has he even been in a losing time at Geelong? I'd hate to see his ledger, his win versus loss ledger. That would be frightening in a good way for him. But man, I just think some of these boys, he wouldn't have seen many bad years at Geelong. Maybe 1 or 2 seasons, no finals, right?
Yeah, definitely a couple without finals. He's not as good as the guys that started in 2007, who barely lost a game, like Selwood.
So what year was that? Oh, the Selwood,
2007 to 2011, Selwood barely lost a game at all. Duncan has had a bit of an armchair ride, not an armchair ride, but a very, very happy time at the Geelong Football Club in the time.
Lucky.
And we've enjoyed watching him, but it's probably getting to that point where I'm standing out on my own here with Geelong supporters, but I feel like it's probably time to give some kids a go at the club.
Yeah, what injuries has he done? Has he done like the old man injuries where have they been really bad that he come or have they been contact injuries?
Contact, yeah, it was like a shoulder AC kind of. So he had to have a bit of a cleanup or some kind of surgeries. Put him out for about 4 weeks. So he's obviously not been picked tonight, and we'll probably talk about that in a sec. But he will most likely come back through the VFL. But there's a game to go after this week in the VFL. So and we're not playing finals. So
in the VFL, would you be? So, for example, he comes in. Whose spot does he take if he does come in? And are you okay if he comes in and plays finals for that player?
Whose spot would he take? Let me have a quick
look.
And
would that would that player be considered unlucky? And is he coming in just because he does have that experience and he's one of the more older players?
I can't see a player that we'd want to move away from. You might have said last year Lawson Humphreys, who played the back half of last year and absolutely came on like a bull out of a gun. But I think there's possibly a bench role, maybe as a sub, but there's a guy called Jack Martin that kicked 4 goals in 5 minutes that makes an awesome sub. So I'd probably go with someone like a Jack Martin that is a bit like we've got a few Swiss Army knives at Geelong, and he's another one of those ones that can play a few different roles. So I think maybe he can go forward and kick a goal, and he can go down back and defend. So I think I'd rather. I can't see him getting in. This is the short answer.
Yep. And if I guess I would understand from that, you would prefer that he didn't take a final spot from somebody.
Yeah, but Chris Scott loves him. Chris Scott,
yeah, he does.
He trusts the old boys. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Cam Guthrie again, who's barely played since the grand final 3 years ago. But he's coming back through the VFL, and I wouldn't be surprised if Chris just picks him.
There's no way he could, surely.
No, I'm the only Cat supporter that thinks there's still a small glimmer of hope there, or has just, that possibility, but it's not going to happen. But if Chris, he loves the old boys. He will pick them over the young guys every day of the week because he trusts them, and he's got every right to.
Yeah, 100%. They've proven they've got the proof is in the pudding, but it's getting to that time of year where we're going to see these players coming back from injury who are going to probably play finals and take the spot of someone who has probably been there for the whole year and help the team get to where they are. It just makes me feel sick, but I do understand the logic behind it. Question on one of our players who has long been linked to Geelong because he's from there. He has played 3 games, only managed 3 games this year, and not many at all last year. His name is Darcy Parish. If he was open to the move, as a Cats fan, would you be open to taking him?
Short answer, no. I would have been open to it a couple of years ago when we were very much into him, when he was averaging 40 touches a game and all that. I just don't feel like he fits the mix with what we need at the moment, and he wouldn't come cheap. So I just don't feel like we'd have it in our budget to be able to afford him. And I think he could earn some good coin, or hopefully he's getting paid reasonably at Essendon. But if he decides to leave, hopefully there's a club that pays him what he's worth. But I just don't feel like he fits Geelong right now. And I know Geelong does have their eyes on a few other. Sorry, everyone, but I think they're into Zach Butters or Harley Reid or someone.
Of course you are. I mean, but speaking of, how can you afford them? But I guess if you think, well, Mitch Duncan is would he be on a bit, or would he have taken well unders?
Probably, yeah. He would never have been on big money throughout his whole career. He'd be getting fair reward, but no, he never commanded the big dollars. But he'd be getting more than a rookie, obviously. So that money will be available. But it's.
But how would you pay? I mean, I guess how would you pay Harley Reid's hefty contract that is presumably out there? I mean, I know Geelong always just find a way, but and I won't mention Cotton On. Don't worry.
I already did. But there's a nice bit of land outside Geelong, about 5K outside Geelong. Unless you want to be close to the beach, I don't know. But
okay.
It's usually that we just lean into those jokes. I enjoy them. At least we're not talking about handbags anymore. That was getting a bit stupid, the handbag stuff. But talk about Cotton On. Talk about the farm.
Okay.
Go for it. But look,
I
don't know. I don't know how we're going to get it done. Danger will probably either finish this year or next, and he'd be commanding a fair bit. But yeah, you don't know. I don't think Geelong does long-term contracts. So, but who knows? Maybe they will for a certain player, like a Harley Reid might just change that. If it's going to take 10 years, would you do it? I don't know. I'm not sold on him, to be honest. His attitude doesn't seem to be. He's a young fella. You got to cut him some slack. But yeah, he's a good player. No one's doubting that.
I think with one of our coaches, either Scott brother, I think he needs like a very strong figure. And I don't necessarily think McQualter's the coach for him right at this stage. If he was 5 years into his career, fine. But right at this minute now, where he's teetering on that edge, I think a Scott brother would be perfect to get him in line. But this is quite funny, and thank you, Don, for the donation. Last time Essendon beat Geelong was round 9 in 2018. Sean McKernan kicked 4. What the hell? Orazio was actually a good player and playing for Essendon. Bal Chambers was our ruckman, and Brendan Goddard was still playing. I mean, if that's not the most depressing thing, 2018.
Damn.
And in those years, Ben, we have played you multiple times a year, like twice a year for, I reckon, in those 7 years, I reckon we've played maybe 5 of those years we've played you twice. We just always seem to. Brad Scott said it in his presser. I don't know why or how, and I don't know what we did to deserve it, but Well, here's another question. Would Archie Perkins be good at Geelong? Who would the Bombers want in exchange? Archie Perkins, I don't know if you know much about him, but he's severely underperforming at the moment. He was obviously he was our pick 7, pick 8 once I got pushed out around that. He is a player at the moment who's so in his head about his football and his place in the team that we're just for some reason not getting the best out of him. There is a question about where he plays his best football, high half forward or, in the midfield. We see cameos from him, really electrifying, eye-catching cameos, and then he can go missing for an entire game. My instinct is that Geelong just gets the best out of anybody, but is he someone, what are you on that? What are you on the market for? What do you think Geelong need?
We definitely need a ruck.
Aside from the ruck.
Yeah, so Reece can only do it for so long, and he's always like the 15th or 16th best ruck in the comp. But they're probably not the Geelong way. The Geelong game's not built around hit-outs and all that. And, having a dominant ruck, we spend the money up elsewhere. Archie Perkins probably not at Geelong. If you gave us a list, if you increased the list size and gave us 100 spots on the list, yeah, maybe. But it's like, who do you take out kind of thing? What do you give up? So I think possibly for Essendon, there's a player on our list that I hate to lose anyone because you get attached to them all. But there's some players that aren't getting heaps of opportunities at the moment. And there's a guy called Mitch Nevitt that is another one that's he's been in the system for 3 to 4 years now and been developing slowly. And Geelong's extended his contract a couple of times.
Yep,
he is about to take the next step. It'll probably be next year. It's whether another club sees that. I think he can play a whole variety of roles. Takes a great overhead mark. He's getting stronger and stronger all the time. He's tall. I think he's one. If a club wants to ask the question, I think Geelong might be okay with parting with him, and maybe wouldn't hold him back. That's probably what I'm trying to say. If you wanted to go, we'd probably reluctantly let him go if we got a younger player in. But yeah, he's just not getting opportunities. He's playing on the contract. Yeah, he is. But yeah, for whatever reason, it's just not. I thought this was meant to be the year where it happened, and it just hasn't for injuries and form, and just the way the team's been going in the wins-loss column. But
and opportunities you haven't had. Yeah, as we've said, you haven't had a lot of injuries to get in. Pats, thank you for the 2. I'll take a bag of chips for Archie, plain flavour. I mean, it is such a shame. Like we had such high hopes for him and, the other 2 we drafted with him in Cox and Reid, and none of them are currently playing. Reid, I still have, he's our most important commodity, but for whatever reason, I personally think it's mental with Archie. He just, he can't seem to find his feet. But let's get to the changes on, speaking of, sorry, his name. Nevitt. So Nevitt actually comes in for Dangerfield. That's safe to say not a like-for-like swap, but will he play that mid-forward position?
I don't think so. I think he'll probably play high forward and wing for the most part. I'm not sure how much game time he'll get. He will be in the 22, so he won't be as the sub. But I think they'll just sort of move some pieces a little bit, so it won't be replacing Danger as that forward who occasionally goes to a few centre bounces. I think he's predominantly will play through the midfield. He's not been training or playing in the VFL as a defender, as far as I can tell. I try to keep up with the VFL for the most part, but not sure exactly in recent weeks what he's done because he hasn't been back long, to be honest. I think it'll just be a bit like the Geelong. You think, oh, well, Geelong's got a hole in certain places, but they just kind of move. It's like musical chairs. They just twist the wheel a little bit, and then someone else slides into that sort of either defensive role or that forward role. So I'm not sure who that's going to be. I think it's probably Geelong. Hopefully Geelong doesn't disrespect the opposition. I really hope they respect Essendon, even with all the injuries, but I can see them maybe experimenting a little bit with some things. So
Yeah, I'm actually quite surprised you didn't actually rest more players. I think that shows respect for the opposition because this would have been the week to. True. This is true. This is wow. Very good, Ben. Very good. This is the week to do
Smith
it because
laid out. He's not injured, but they're very careful with Bailey Smith, and there's a bloke called George Stevens in the emergencies. It's probably a good game. It'll be his third game in at AFL level if he came in as a late. So I suspect there'll be one more player to come out.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think it'd be silly not to. But for Essendon, out goes Smart and in comes Menzies. And pardon the pun, but this is not a very smart decision from Brad Scott. And I hate to say it, but I have absolutely no clue the logic behind this. Chat, please offer up your reasons for this. Some people are saying it's Menzies' farewell game because there is no way, shape or form he's getting a contract for next year. I don't understand it. Smart is not injured. He's an emergency. I just can't get my head around it at all. Michael believes that Jai Clark would be a good fit for us. Are you willing to lose Jai, Ben?
Yeah, I'm not 100% on Jai Clark, and it's one of those ones I'm a little unsure about going too hard on the young kid because he's still growing and developing. He goes out. He's got a great attitude about his footy. He throws himself at the ball. He's just been in the system 2 or 3 years now, and he just doesn't seem to be able to get any bigger. And he really needs to put on size. And it might be he might just be one of those players that just can't. But I'm reluctant for Geelong to move him on, and as I'm sure the club is as well, because he's a former Geelong Falcon and his family lives in Geelong. And it's like, you want to hang on to those guys because it's almost like the father-son thing. If there's anyone that's playing AFL footy that's played for the Falcons, well, there's always that tie to Geelong that gets them back. So I suspect we'll probably stick with Jai a little bit longer. But if a club twisted our arm and said, we'll give you Nasiah, I saw Nasiah in the chat before.
We'll get to that.
We want Jai Clark. I'm like, Jai, sorry, mate. You got to go.
Oh, yeah.
Steak nice.
Here's a nice little hypothetical for you, given your needs at the moment from old mate Don. You have pick one at Geelong, Ben. Who are you taking based on what you need? I mean, obviously the star here, the magic here is very obvious. But in terms of what you need, are you uniting brothers and filling a need, or are you taking the magic?
I'm taking the magic. I'm taking Nasiah every day of the week and twice on Sundays. He is absolutely incredible. And I don't know footy like the Geelong coaches know footy, but they seem to not rate the ruck role significantly. Not to say they don't appreciate what Reece Stanley or anyone else does, but since the days of Brad Alton's, which is he's long gone now, they've never really had a dominant ruck, and it hasn't affected their win-loss column significantly. So I can't see them giving away the farm. Sorry about the pun. I can't see them giving away the farm to get a ruck, and that's what you're going to have to pay for a Tom de Koning. So I think Nasiah Wanganeen-Milera every single day.
Yeah, and I mean, you literally cannot question Geelong's tactics and what they do at the moment. And this is why I see a lot of Essendon, and you've probably seen it in the media and on online social media, a lot of Essendon supporters willing to throw in the towel if Draper leaves and willing to, angry with the club for not getting in that bidding war and upping the offer. And I'm just like, you just don't. I think already what we're offering him is too much for a ruck. 700 to 800 is a lot for a ruck, in my opinion, given in the modern age football. I really do. So if he stays, he's already going to be taking a big chunk, in my opinion. I agree. And if Geelong are getting it so right, why would you do anything different? Is in my opinion. GPAT, Geelong play musical chairs, Essendon shuffle decks on the Titanic. Yes, it certainly feels like this. So it certainly feels like we're completely going downhill. But I know I have to let you go very soon, Bem, and I thought there's no point us getting into the tactics of the game because we know, and I know you want to be humble, but let's be honest, it's going to be an absolute disaster for Essendon. So we're just going to have do a few little bonus segment, flip the script type thing. So the first question for you, we're flipping the script. So pretend you're Essendon's list manager, you're Matt Roser. What are 3 changes that you would make to the team, to Essendon?
I've got everyone to choose from.
Yeah.
Well, I think I'll bring Nick Martin in. He's pretty handy. Goodness me. I did like how do you say? I'm going to butcher the name. Al
Hooley. Yeah, Al Hooley.
I liked that kid. I feel like he'll be okay long term.
Yep. It's a nice run from the back line. Yep.
Throw some names at me who's not in the squad at the moment.
Okay. Well, everyone's on the injury list, so we actually only have 2 debutants left because we've debuted 14, which is ridiculous. But what are some players who wouldn't usually be getting games? Let's say Matt Guelphy. Again, fringe player. What about Kyle Langford? Would you take Kyle Langford for a year or 2?
Yes, I think so. I don't know. I respect the bloke. He has a crack. He's not an absolute star, but I think he's one of those glue guys that you need. Yeah, I don't know. I've just watched from afar and I was like, I don't mind this bloke. He has a go. Yeah, he's not silk or anything like that, but no, I don't mind him. So I'm happy with Langford.
Okay. All right. All right. So now rank in order this is a flag envy question from me, but rank the order of your 3 most recent premierships. So it was 07, 09 and 2011. Is that, I got the years right?
2009, 11 and 22 were the most
22.
recent.
Yep. Yes. So rank those 3 from your favourites.
Yeah, pretty easy for me. 09 against the Saints. That was about 11 degrees. It was wet. It was rainy. Had about 10 beers, probably more. It was, and we'd lost to Hawthorn the year before, and just the guts. And the game didn't get beyond 12 points either way the whole way. It was an absolute slog. It was one of those old-fashioned footy matches. And the toe poke and the chappy goal, and they're all great. It's like your kids; they're all good, but
but you've got a fave.
One kid's better than the other. Let's be honest.
Absolutely.
My kids won't be watching this. My cousins, my nephews might be. They're Bomber supporters.
Oh well, this is going online, so there's always proof in the archives, Ben.
The history books will remember.
Exactly.
Nah, look, I think that
was your fave. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Dave actually throws up a good one. You need a ruck. If Draper does stay, Nick Bryan will be looking for a new home. I don't know if you see much of him. He's been in the VFL for a long, long time. He's had to bode his time before he actually got into the ones. And this year, before he did his ACL, he actually Brad Scott was going with the tandem team of Draper and Bryan. So he was just starting to get regular AFL time, but he could be one.
Yeah, look, I think what tends to happen is young ruckmen at Geelong move on, and we never actually see the best of them. We lost Mumford and we lost Dawson, I think it was, and Trent West went to Brisbane, and so they don't seem to hang around long enough. And again, probably because Geelong doesn't spend the money on them. So there's just they can get paid better elsewhere. So
he's ready to go. Like he wouldn't. Reece Stanley could pretty much just go back to his farm and have a chill pill.
Be a recruiting manager at the farm. Look, I think there's potential. The point I was going to make is there's potential that some of the young rucks at Geelong might look to go elsewhere, especially if they're feeling like they're homesick or they want some opportunities elsewhere. But look, that's the thing. There's about 2 or 3 other rucks that I haven't mentioned that are sort of just developing in the VFL, and they may or may not make it. Look, most players that get drafted in the system don't play. It's a sad thing.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for the 18-year-olds on draft day, but
I know.
sad reality is most of them don't actually play.
We have to remind ourselves that we might actually.
Unless you're playing for Essendon and you've got half your team injured.
Exactly. Brad Scott keeps saying, like, the media keep calling it the injury crisis and it's disaster. And he keeps saying to the media, it's not disaster for the 14 debutants who are living their dream and loving life. And I did have some insight chat. I don't think I've shared this with you yet, but people talking to Lockie Blackiston, he is frothing life at the moment. He is like a little kid at Christmas every single day playing AFL football. And I think to myself, that's perspective when I think, we've got Darcy Parish who can't get a game. Jordan Ridley's constantly injured. Jai Caldwell's gone for surgery. Like, it's just a disaster. But at the end of the day, there's these 14 or, however many in the team this week who are just frothing, playing, living out their dreams. So anyway, Ben, I know we have to let you go. You've been very generous with your time. Thank you so much. I know this is a bit how we feel, and I didn't want to bring you down. But
this one. I was just going to highlight that just before you put it up. I actually nearly spat my coffee out. I was laughing.
This is how we feel.
And I actually was a case manager working with homeless people for about 15 years. So, but yeah. You're right. Like it does feel a bit like that. I can imagine. Yep. So
it does. But we have one thing we do have. I would love you or hate you. We fully respect you, and I can't see a day where it's going to change at Geelong because your foundations are absolutely solid. So I guess good on you and lucky you, and may it continue for your sake. But I hope to join you one day in my lifetime.
Well, I hope the Bombers turn it around in the next couple of years. And as much as I don't want them to win on the weekend, obviously, but I hope you can get a win or two to finish the year off and give the fans some hope. Don't give up on them, everyone. Support the boys. They need all the love they can get, and get behind the girls as well when the AFLW comes around.
We absolutely will. Thank you so much, Ben. I know we've all loved it. I've loved meeting. This is my first year in this caper, so I've absolutely loved meeting representatives from every fan base, and this is no different. Thank you so much, Ben, and I'll catch up with you after.
No worries. Go Bombers.
Good night. See you, Ben. How good was that chat? I mean, as much as it's wonderful, I just think to myself how different our fan bases feel in terms of just we live off hope and they live off expectation, because it's just an expectation to turn up, to perform. All right, I'll pop the link in the chat if anybody feels like jumping on and having a bit of a yarn. I mean, talking about our change, somebody please explain who has a good, give me a good reason as to why Menzies is playing. I need a good reason. I really, really do. I do. I did like this. Michael. I didn't have time to put it to him, but you're right. Josh Lindsay. Well, I think Cal Toomey's rankings came out today, and he had Josh Lindsay, I think it was about 7 or 8. So that could be good for us. Push him down a little bit, and I'm pretty happy. Al Hooley is safe. Okay, I suspect they want him to be working on his defence. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%. It's defensive for him. The accountability and probably, as you say, a bit like Lawal, a bit of homework in terms of learning the actual game plan and the nuances of when to man up and when to run and gun. Smart is not that smart at the moment. I don't think the decision was smart. I think he's been okay, but I can't understand why, guys. I can't understand. Hey, Chris, how are you doing? Spiros, how are you? I have it on good mail that the main oval of the hangar was resurfaced last summer. Yep, and has easily passed a number of TERS testing to confirm it is safe and not the cause of injuries. I would agree with you there, Spiros, and I never bloody thought it was the surface, because as you know, many people have said, the girls train on there, the VFL team train on there. Sometimes we actually have games played there, VFL games. So it can't be that. It really can't be that. Michael, Yes, you live down in Geelong. I mean, just is the feels, right? And you're going to the game tomorrow night, so you're brave. You're very brave. But if you live down there, you get to the games 100%, and it's a chance for you to watch Essendon. So, Richard, we do get memorable games. Though St Kilda put out a T-shirt for the greatest three-quarter comeback time will go nicely with their streak video, which we broke. Yeah, I mean, again, they're another team who you just hold on to little glimmers of, don't you? Little glimmers of whatever you can get. I tell you what, I dislike who? Yeah, Sam Mitchell. Actually, update on that score, please, friends. Would be fabulous. Menzies in the AFL team, so we can maybe win a VFL team. He's the only fit player. Hey, Thomas, where is Ben Reeve? Who is Ben Reeve? Ben Reeve. Where is Ben Reeve? I don't know. Explain. Hey, Shaky, I've been praying for the whole season that Carlton would extend Voss. Today's the dream. Yes. What do we think about that decision? They have, if you haven't caught up, Carlton Graham Wright has come out and confirmed that Voss will be the coach for 2026. I've seen mixed reviews from Carlton supporters. Some are loving the decision and that they've come publicly out and said it, so they know, looking ahead to 2026, they know the expectations, who's going to be there. There's no uncertainty, and half the fan base are losing their minds, really. Hey, Mark. Driving up from Melbourne for the game will be a long night, but go Bombers. Oh, good on you. I mean, it's a nice drive now. It's nice and easy. Have some hot chips. Enjoy. I have never actually watched a game down there. What's it like as a spectacle for anybody who's actually been there? Is it a good spectacle from the ground? I know they have just done up their new. Is it the Selwood stand now or something? But good on you, Mark. Again, pick a young player, get some hot chips, and that is your Fiona-approved method of getting through the game tomorrow night. Oh, here we go. Hawks 21 to Magpies 15. Ooh. Okay. Interesting. Mendy is being ritually sacrificed at the local Geelong Coven, whatever it takes. I just don't, for the life of me, understand this. I don't understand this decision. I see no logic in it. Voss is safe until June 26th. Why is that, Richard? It's cold as fuck. Where, Dave? Where you are, where I am, or in Geelong? I think you mean Geelong. Hey, Flash Movie Trivia, what gave you the idea to do this channel? Have you always been a footy head and a good footy conversationalist? Well, thank you, firstly. What gave me the idea? It's always been on my mind. I've always watched, I love football in general. I love AFL. Probably from the 2000 era, I was still little, but I started to fall in love with Essendon, and then eventually, as I grew up, more and more just love watching AFL in general, and have consumed a lot of content from other content creators in the AFL industry. And every time I'm sitting there watching a fan cam, I'm thinking, oh, we don't have this as Essendon fan base, and I think we really could and should. And this year, it's been a big year of change for me, 2025. I haven't done my numbers, or at the start of the year, I didn't do my numbers, and I didn't check the moon and the crystals and all that. But I dare say if I did, it would have said there's a lot of change coming for you in 2025, Fiona. So this is something that I have always wanted to do, and finally found the courage to do it this year. So that's why. And I'm so happy to have you as part of the family. How just got in an ambulance? Oh, no, what happened? Thoughts on Silvani? Okay, everyone, I need your opinion on this. What do you think about the Silvani chat? Apparently he went to Brad Scott's house, had dinner with him and his manager. I don't know. Yeah, he is a like-for-like Laverty. That is exactly how I would describe it. I just don't know how we fit him in with Ben Mackay, Reid, Ridley, Redman, Pryor. Does he take Pryor's spot? I don't know. I also think he would fit in well at Essendon in the rehab group because he is always injured. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know for me. GMHPA is a very narrow ground. Yes. So there's going to be a lot of out on the falls, 100%. Hey, Scotty, your theory on team selection is that the uncontract players will all come in and out to assess the list. Guys like Johnson, L. Hawley, they'll develop in the AFL as they contracted for 2026 and safe. Yeah, I think that's a pretty sound, logical explanation. And to be honest, that's the explanation that helps me sleep at night. So I'm going. Michael, nice ground. Their supporters are horrendous. Yeah, Ben just gave us a bit of an insight, didn't he, into that? Thank you. Appreciate that. Much love. All right, let's have a little bit of a chat with Corey. Hey, Corey.
How you going?
Not too bad. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you.
How'd you go? Did you get through your match?
Did, but we got absolutely flogged. We didn't even score.
Not even a point?
No, we didn't score a point. I think the ball went in our 54 times.
Oh, okay. And what did the other team score?
They scored 20 goals, so we got flogged.
Okay. That is a very, very lopsided scoreline, and maybe we're going to see something like that tomorrow night. What do you reckon?
Oh, yeah, most likely, but you never know. You never know. You just like
we'll get a few cheapies.
The team could have an off day kicking accurately, and the scoreboard may not seem as big as it probably could be. Like you just never know. Like anything's possible.
Yeah. Okay. So, what do you make of the Menzies inclusion? Do you agree with Scott?
Absolutely, I do. 100%. Okay. You have to prove something in the next 3 weeks, and if you can't, nice knowing you. Have fun in Tasmania in 2 years' time.
Is he getting a game up there? I don't know. There's some pretty good.
Well, that's where he's from. So I'm solely basing it on the fact that he could probably get a game for him.
True. Yeah, so, I mean, I personally think we've seen as much as we can out of him.
I think we have too, yes. But it's a like-for-like replacement with Smart and Menzies. I would have liked to have seen Unwin, but I need to see another game of him playing that type of effort to get a crack at it.
Yeah, good call. I did note he is on the emergency list. Yeah. So he obviously and you're getting the impression and you're getting the sense that they do want to debut him before the season's out.
Yeah, I tip they'll do it. If they don't do it against Carlton the round 24, they'll do it against Gold Coast the last round.
Yeah, agreed. What do you think? Because I'm noting that on the injury list, Ben Mackay's still at TBC. Now, why do they just put a season ending for him? Cole Langford is potentially going to return. Elijah Sardis they've got as 3 weeks. Like, what is the point?
Yeah, that to me makes absolutely no sense. I'm not sure why whoever tells the social media department from Essendon to keep it as TBC, because on his own podcast, he's even said he's not even playing.
Oh, I haven't heard him say that. Has he really?
Yeah, he's mentioned it without saying it. Basically, he's had to get surgery on his foot because his foot's cactus.
Well, that's great. I would like a bit of clarity from the club would be great on that. Just end it. Like we're all doctrined now. Like we're used to the injuries now. It's not going to hurt us any more than than we've already been hurt.
And so many people take the piss out of Ben Mackay anyway. So everyone's just like, just put it. You should have just put season ending when he was put down as TBC. Yeah,
or at least like when 2 months passed or 3 months passed and there was still no answer. Like, yeah, I just think, yeah. How are you feeling in terms of coming to the end of this year? Are you? Can you see the logic? Can you see the reason why this year's gone so awry? Are you going to go into 2026 with hope, or are you confused, or how overall, as an overall feeling, how are you feeling, Corey?
Not too bad. I just want to see just any sort of improvement, even if it's from the second year players. Like Archie Roberts getting another pre-season into him, what's he going to show? Will he move out of halfback and try midfield eventually? That's where I think he should be playing in the future because of his ball use and how clean he is through a contest. I think he could be a gun midfielder, like a good outside midfielder. I want to see, hopefully, to the draft that we can draft a kid like Josh Lindsay or get another young tall forward like Mitch Marsh or someone along those lines that we can build around, because Langford's 29, Peter Wright's 29, and they're not going to be around for the next premiership, to be honest with you. So I'd rather go into the draft just drafting kids. And if we get something for Perkins or Sardis, or if we get with the band one compensation, you get pick 5 for Draper, or you get pick 19 for Draper with band 2, like, I'll take that. But you just never know. Who knows what's going on in the brain department at Essendon.
Yeah, I mean, for one, I'm not fully confident that we're going to be able to replenish the list in order to, like, speed up the ladder from next year on. But I what I do have confidence in is that they're doing everything they can and they know what they need, and they're putting in the building blocks to get what they need. I just don't know if we're going to be able to get it from next year and beyond, if that makes sense.
Oh, no, we won't. It's a 3, honestly, if for me being serious about it here, 2027 is the year I'm looking at where it's either put up or shut up. So it's not next year's a write-off anyway. I'm just going to say that. It's regardless if we somehow make finals or we win 8 to 10 games, I'll take that. But 2027 is the year where you've got no excuse. You've had enough years with Brad Scott as coach, if he's still coaching at that time, and hopefully that we see improvement out of the kids that we want to see become the future of the club, because you got guys like Durham and Caldwell who are in their prime. I don't want their prime years wasted like Merritt's prime years have been wasted.
Yeah. And this is what I don't remember having a clear, focused plan. And I'm not talking about, they've come out and in their what's it called, the statement that they write at the start of every year, win a premiership in 5 years. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking that I can actively see the next group of core young talent that's going to be the next leadership group. And I don't feel like we had that during Merritt's time. It was all over the place. We had a Merritt, but then we had Darcy Parish, and then we had a Goddard, and it was just all over the place, the strategy that the club was taking. Now I feel like I can see the dot points really clear for me, and that's what gives me hope.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, because you do have your core group of, like, your prime players of Durham and Caldwell, who I think could be captain, same with Archie Roberts down the line. Yeah. You can build around Nate Caddy. You can build around Kako. You got your upcoming draft with Sweet and Alachkar. If they turn out to be something decent, you can build around them, because that's your next group that you want to take to a premiership. You just need to get Zach Reed fit, Jordan Ridley fit. I don't think Ben Mackay is going to be a part of our next premiership, because his body's just cooked. Darcy Parish is in the same boat. Like Redmond, I can see going on if he plays the right way and doesn't get injury prone. There is a lot of positives that we do have. We've just got to just basically not get injured.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? I'm not saying we would have played finals this year. Very unlikely. But this is like, I know we shouldn't deal in hypotheticals, but what would we have seen this year? What would we have seen them achieve this year if the core group hadn't got injured? We certainly would be further ahead next year, I can tell you that, because they would have that chemistry under their belts, a year of the game plan, whatever it is, under their belts, more experience. And so young kids would be coming into a system, a group that already have that a little bit of that synergy. Whereas next year, to me, we're starting from scratch, in my opinion, because Paddy and Wright, they haven't even played that much footy together. Like, I know they've played 10 plus games, but for a forward duo, that's not enough games to know each other's patterns and things like that. So basically next year we're starting over.
Yeah, it takes a good 2 or 3 years. Even in local footy, it's the same. Once you learn people's leading patterns and the way they go about things and what they can and can't do of their strengths and weaknesses.
Yes.
And that's why I think, as much as it sucks that we've had so many injuries, it's been probably the best thing for us that we've seen kids that get a game that probably never would have got a game under Brad Scott. And now you can see what sort of ability what they have, what deficiencies they have. And we just need to slowly weed out the people that we just don't think are going to be a part of the future.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. And I certainly think that's the strategy to look forward to. And I totally agree, Richard. We have to invest in good kids before Tassie comes in. Completely agree. Yep. And we're doing it at the right time.
We have to, because if we don't, we're in a lot of trouble. And like Eddie Maguire said on his podcast, you don't need your big four clubs in Carlton, Richmond, Essendon, clubs like that down the bottom forever, because it's not good for the competition.
Exactly. And I do note that Scott, I know you tweeted it earlier, but we just hit the 85K mark for supporters. So imagine when we're good, like what the hell? We are so shit, and have been so shit. I can only imagine the AFL. It's in the AFL's best interest to have Essendon good, because the storyline, the fairy tale, it's beautiful. It writes its own memoirs. There's going to be. Do you know how much money they can make off it? I can't believe they haven't made it happen already. The way they make shit happen.
I think they will once we win our first final. There'll be some sort of story that will come out of some sort of doco about the 20 years or 20 how many years that we haven't won a final. That eventually, when we do win one, and if we don't win it, just how we've gone about it, from being an absolute basket case to back being a powerhouse. And it, like they said years ago, I think the CEO said it was going to be a 6 to 8 year plan. It's probably a realistic plan, if I'm honest with you, with how this year's panned out. And
exactly,
I think that everyone's got to take it this year as a grain of salt, and just obviously still support the club no matter if we're good or we're not. But we'll see how we go.
Yeah, I completely agree, Corey, and great points made as always. Do you have a game this weekend, or?
Yes, we do, against Nearham South. So they're second on the ladder and we're on the bottom, because we've only won once the whole year. And we played them in round 1 and we lost by 100. So I'm assuming it might be the same, because they were making phone calls on trying to fill the bench, because we only need, I think, a couple to fill in.
Yeah. Okay.
So if not, we might get some of the under 18s to play if we do.
Okay. So, good. Thank you, Corey. Right. I'll catch you tomorrow night, maybe.
No worries. Thank you.
See you later. Bye. I mean, this is what I'm thinking. Solution: a 10-part Spielberg doco. Imagine Goddard said it when he was at the club. This will make, when Essendon win a grand final or when they win a final, this will make. Someone will write a book about this, and someone will make a series about this, and it will be incredible, because truths will come out. There'll be batshit fighting. People will say this, people will say that. It will drum up so much content. I can't believe they haven't made it happen. I really can't believe. Maybe we only get banned 1 for Draper if the offer is in the 5% of salaries. So 900K plus. Well, if he goes to Brisbane, then that's absolutely what they're giving him. Well, it's reported 800 to 900, but personally, I was having this conversation with my brother-in-law last night. I completely agree with him. He's like, you don't pay more than 600 grand for a ruckman, and he had me totally convinced. And Ben earlier from the Hoops crew has me convinced to go back in time. He went back in time to all of Geelong ruckman. Absolutely not. I know Draper's good because he's fun and he's chaotic and unpredictable and he's magical sometimes, but if you told me you give that money to him, or you give that money to Harley Reid or Zach Butters or, someone else, I'm doing that every day of the week. Hey, Silent Red, how are you? The list is still good. Nothing wrong with it. Injuries aside, my concern is the coach's philosophy and lack of eccentricity and ability to think originally. Yeah, that's why I like the idea for next year. Obviously, turn the list over as much as we can, but I want to see there are some really good footy heads out there. Now that Simon Goodwin has been sacked and all the coaches available have been, floating around social media, there are some really good footy heads out there. And I wouldn't be against a Ken Hinkley coming in and taking a back seat and just, supporting Brad Scott through it tactically. I mean, he's just an example, but he's the kind of guy who I think John Longmire would be another one who would be incredible. I think he's probably still wants a head coaching role personally. And I think he'd be really good for Melbourne, in my opinion. But I still like the idea of getting someone to help Brad. they're not superstars, don't overpressure the NGA guys. No, nobody's overpressuring them. They got talent, they're exciting, and we all rate the kids at this stage. They're the messiahs. They're going to come and fix everything. That's just how it is. We're going to do the same with the 2 drafts picks that we bring in. It's just how it is. Hey, Annalise, hope you're going well. AFL may have learnt their lesson from destroying the club during the saga. Yep, they absolutely destroyed it, and we are still paying. Yes, exactly. This is the content. Brendan Goddard will be the narrator throughout the whole thing. He'll froth that shit. 100%. 100%. I don't know. Am I missing a joke here? Am I missing a joke, Moby? Why? Sophie. Chris, total contract, I think that's why Bo Allen is a bad one. Oscar Allen, you mean? Yeah. Yep. Gotcha. You also have to factor in Draper's in his 9th year and has never finished top 10 in the club BNF. Yeah, exactly. I just think the position, we are overrating a ruckman's ability to help you get to a finals and overrating their ability. I think, it's hard to go off what Goldstein's given us this year, but and not saying that he's going to be going on next year, but I think, yeah, that's just where I sit on that, my opinion. Alrighty, I think there's not much more to talk about in terms of this game and also the changes. So let's get to the cookie comp, shall we? Those of you who are new here, and I know you are, there are a few newbies here tonight. Tonight you get to go into the draw to win these little cookie packs. Doesn't have to be Essendon ones. It can be whatever you like. You can gift them. They are posted. I can post them to anywhere in Australia. You just have to give me, for our game against Geelong tomorrow night, a first goal scorer and a first behind scorer. Or the second option, if you feel like you are going to excel more in giving me a total disposals winner, total tackles overall and an overall game winner, you can do that. What are you going with, everybody? And keep in mind that last week, Andy McGrath was the first behind scorer. So if that's giving you an open mind, that's giving you a push to open the blinkers. And, yeah, absolutely scary. Who thinks he's going to kick less than 5? Surely no. There's no one thinks he's going to get less than 5. Don, you have $30 to spend on food and drink at Marvel. What are you getting? Well, firstly, you know what I'm getting. I know you personally know what I'm getting, and probably by this point the chat all knows what I'm getting. But $30, that's not getting me far. That would probably give me a large chips and maybe, will that get me like a chocolate bar, or that'll get me a water maybe. I'm surprised, probably as of next year, a bucket of chips is going to be $30. But yeah, I'd be happy if that can get, however many buckets of chips that can get me, I'm happy to spend it on that. And I'd forgo the drink. But I'd say a water. That'll probably get me a water. Yeah. You're going 7 for Cameron? Yeah, 7 or more. Yep. I mean, it's funny because it's so likely to happen that, wow. Myers, yes, good call. Cameron, first point, yeah. All right, this is how we do the second option. Disposals, merit, tackles. Atkins, love it. Goals, Jezza will outscore us. Oh my God, he's going to outscore our total score by the end of and I don't have to ask you who you think's going to win. Don't worry, Don. Yeah, exactly. I reckon as of next year. Yep. And what do you got for me? Menzie, the first goal. Oh, if Menzie kicks the first goal of the game, does it get him another contract? Yeah, I think so. What are you going, Richard? Yep. Okay. Have you seen the AI footage someone made up of Essendon winning the flag, Caldwell Martin running the G? Stop it. Oh my God, that makes me emotional. That makes me actually emotional because I can feel that. For a second, I felt that in my body. I felt the elation in my body. Oh my God. As I've said on this channel before, you ain't seeing me. Winning the flag, you ain't seeing me. I'm spending my life savings I have on getting a ticket and then disappearing and celebrating for a week. There will be no Bomber Banter content that week, even though there'll be a ton of Bomber Banter content. There will be none because I will not have a internet signal where I'm going. Shaky Snake. Disposal Smith tackles Merrick Geelong. I like it. Yep. Still potential, as Ben mentioned, potential that they might pull a sneaky little late out with Bailey Smith. They're being very cautious with him. Brett, what do you got? First goal, Guelphy, and you're going behind the puppy. Collingwood are stuffed. Hawks up at 34. What the fuck? I mean, Solution did ask a few weeks back in their first loss if there started to be some collie wobbles. I said no, but first goal, Hobbs. This is the outside thinking I love. This is an outsider. Well done, Annalise. I thought someone was going to win the cookies last week and then McGrath kicked the first point. No. I love it, Michael. Love it. Yep. Oh, hell yeah. Man, if I could get myself to Italy, I might not come back. I'll find a internet signal, a Wi-Fi signal somewhere. Man, that's the dream. Essendon win the premiership and Fiona flies out to Florence. Man, I have to win the lottery to make all that happen at this stage, Moby. Or you guys just have to keep donating. If all of you donated $2 in this stream now, that's $80 or $100. Yeah, I reckon. How long do we reckon we're going to take to win a flag? I reckon I could come close to getting that. Chris, Guthrie goal, Cameron point. Everyone, a lot of you think that we're going to open up. Cameron's going to open up the night with a point. You guys are very, very good. Very good in the chat. You make me laugh. You make me smile. Oh, I will be so upset. So help me God if they change the father-son rule. What are they thinking? Maybe the academy, but the father-son rule, no. It is the sweetest thing, and it's just luck. It is purely luck-based. There's nothing you can do. This is not manipulated to make the strong club stronger. This is just purely luck. This is the men with Y chromosomes. This is purely just luck, and I think that they cannot touch it. And if they do, I'll be really upset. And let's be honest, I'll be doing nothing. I love you, Jeremy. I love you, Jeremy, so much. I'm putting this $2 away officially. I promise you, I am a woman of my word. I will put this $2 in the savings account, and I'm starting to save for the grand final / Florence Cup. Option 2, Holmes, Close, and who you going as a winner, Pommy? Because if you don't tell me, I'm going to default you to Essendon. So if you don't select Geelong, I'm defaulting you to Essendon, and then you could be sabotaging the cookies if Holmes and Close come through for you. Yes. This too. Please like on your way out. We'll finish up in a sec. I'll give a few more of you time to get your picks in, but please do like and subscribe if you haven't. That will also help with this part. It all helps. That's €1.17. Hey, beggars are not choosers, and I value every single penny, every single bit. Oh, yes. See, Shaky Snake and Annalise, you got me. You absolutely have me. The plans are there, and Pommy can attest to this. The video is made. I haven't found the courage to post it, and I've been sitting on it, and I've done it. I just can't post it yet because there's something stopping me. But thank you both, Shaky Snake and Annalise. Absolute legends. I told you to keep me accountable, and I feel a bit foolish saying that out loud, so maybe this will be the motivating factor. Option 2, you're going Zach for the disposals, Nguyen for the tackles. How good, actually, we haven't spoken about seeing him stay in, so that's great. Snazzy Shoes, that's okay. You can watch back. All right, before we finish up, Snazzy, do you want to give us your picks for the cookie comp? Egg cracking 101. It's actually not an egg cracking video. It's kind of just the intro video to the channel. But I don't know. I'm being an idiot. I really am. No, I know. You're right. You're so right, Annalise. You're right. Yeah. I will. I feel like I will. Soon. Maybe. I kind of feel like I want to do the video again, and that's my excuse for not posting it. You're very sweet, but it's okay. You can just yell at me. It's okay. I probably need it. I really need it. You want a recipe for a good berry turnover. Okay. Do you want me to make the pastry as well? Because I can do. They're in there. Smith for the first goal, Stengel point. Gotcha. Alrighty. You were on What's Cooking with Jeff Jans back in the day. I don't know what that is, but I'm assuming that's a cooking show. Well done. How about a McGrath? Well done, Jeremy. Very good by you. They don't have to wait for the Bacon channel for that, though, right? I know, that's a bit mean. Sorry, Andy. I do love you. I promise. Yes, this is more likely. This is obviously more likely. Yeah. What do you want to stay in Melbourne for at least a week and soak up the win and celebrate with supporters then head overseas? It's a pleasant predicament. Okay. All right, Michael, you've convinced me. The night of the grand final, it's an all-nighter, let's be honest. I won't be making my way back home at all. In preparation, I might put like a go bag in a PO box in Richmond somewhere because that's where we'll be celebrating, just so I can get some deodorant, maybe just change my top in the middle of a street or something and just have a quick change of clothes and still celebrate, have a champagne breakfast and just still celebrate with all the Bomber Banter family. Maybe we'll have to book out somewhere. And then maybe we go to the hangar because that's when all the players will turn up and for the, what's it called? To present the cup to the fans. Is that what they'll do it at the hangar? So then they'll go there. And that's perfect. Then I'll just go, I'm sure in Tullamarine, I'll just get on the plane. That's perfect, Michael. I love it. Who's coming with me is the question. Who is coming with me? Hey, Jez, Hawks whacking pies at halftime. Nunu will be happy. He will be happy. Can't believe that. I mean, it's only halftime and you don't count the pies out, but, oh, you want to go back to Windy Hill? I don't think so. Richard. Windy Hill had its time. Didn't the 2000 team go back there? This next Premiership Cup will have come from the hangar. We've got to give the hangar its due. It needs to celebrate with us. What about the fan cams? No, we'll be Devo. Yeah, no, we'll do the fan cams, but it will be, I'll also have to pack a battery pack because, let's be honest, the phone battery ain't lasting. I might need to, in the go bag, I've got to put an extra battery pack because the battery pack, one battery pack is coming to the ground with me, the grand final, because there'll be lots of content happening that day and we can't lose battery. Yeah, so the fan cams will happen straight after the game, but that will be a very drunk, probably not even lucid fan cams. I'm talking this into manifestation, you guys. I know you think I'm just bullshitting here, but I'm going to talk about this and I am going to Florence after the grand final. I see you, Windy Hill. I see you, but you had your time and you'll always have those memories. You'll have those memories forever. You'll be out at Windy Hill. All right, Jez and Richard, you guys go to Windy Hill and Don Caldwell, and I don't know how old you all are because you all have aliases in your display picture and your names. So I don't know who else is coming to the hangar with me and Don Caldwell, because I know he fits in that. Bomber Boy, I've got a feeling you'll be at. Oh no, you want to go back to Windy Hill? Oh nah. I'll be at the hangar. Anybody who wants to join me, and then we get on a plane to Florence. I'm talking this is manifesting 101. All right, I'm going to leave you all alone now. Thanks for being here, everyone. Much, much love. The biggest love ever for all of you regulars and newbies alike. I'll see you all tomorrow night. I've got the fan cams in for 10:40. I won't be going to the game, so I'll be on here straight after. I might even start it at 10:30, so just keep an eye out. Have fun, Michael, and the rest of you who are going to the game. Enjoy it for what it is. As I said, get chips, pick a young'un and enjoy and just have some fun and then get home safe. All right, everybody, I'll see you very soon tomorrow night. Take care and please subscribe on your way out and like the video. Good night.